The lights inside the Karen Demirchian Sports and Concert Complex glowed brightly as thousands of fans waited for the opening fight of IBA Champions Night. The crowd buzzed with anticipation, but the atmosphere changed completely when hometown fighter Artur Bazeyan began walking toward the ring. Armenia had high hopes for the 24-year-old prospect. A European medalist with growing momentum, Bazeyan had already shown flashes of brilliance in previous appearances, and fighting in front of his home crowd made this moment even more meaningful. Across the ring stood Ardit Murja, a tough and experienced professional from Albania. Murja carried an impressive record and the reputation of a fighter who never backed down from pressure. Just weeks earlier, he had stepped into another major bout, showing his willingness to stay active against high-level competition. As the bell rang for the opening round, both fighters moved cautiously. Murja switched between orthodox and southpaw stances, testing angles and trying to keep Bazeyan guessing. Bazeyan responded with calm precision, snapping out sharp jabs that quickly found their target. Each time Murja stepped forward, Bazeyan met him with a crisp combination. The early exchanges were technical and measured, but even in those first moments the Armenian fighter appeared slightly sharper. His timing looked cleaner, and his punches landed with a little more authority. Murja remained composed, circling the ring and looking for counters, but the rhythm of the fight was slowly beginning to fall into Bazeyan's control. As the second round began, the pace of the fight gradually increased. Murja attempted to change the tempo, switching stances more frequently and throwing probing jabs toward Bazeyan's body. The Albanian fighter clearly wanted to disrupt the Armenian's rhythm, forcing him to reset and hesitate. For brief moments, the strategy seemed to work. Murja managed to slip a few punches and fire quick counters in response. Yet Bazeyan remained patient, showing the composure of a fighter who understood exactly how he wanted the bout to unfold. Instead of chasing recklessly, he began cutting off the ring, stepping laterally and forcing Murja toward the ropes. Each movement was subtle but effective, shrinking the space available to his opponent. When Murja tried to circle away, Bazeyan stepped in with a sharp jab, followed by a right hand. Soon the combination started flowing more naturally. A left hook to the body landed cleanly, drawing a noticeable reaction from Murja. It was the first clear sign that Bazeyan's body attack might become a major factor in the fight. The Armenian fighter continued building momentum with crisp straight punches, snapping Murja's head back with accurate jabs and mixing in hooks downstairs. Murja fought back with determination, firing occasional counters and refusing to be intimidated, but Bazeyan consistently delivered the final punch in most exchanges. The crowd inside the arena could feel the shift in momentum. Every clean shot from Bazeyan triggered a surge of cheers from the stands, fueling his confidence even further. By the time the second round ended, Bazeyan looked firmly in control, dictating the pace and slowly wearing down his opponent. The third round marked a subtle but important shift in the fight's intensity. Bazeyan no longer fought purely at range. Instead, he began pressing forward with more determination. His head movement became more active as he slipped incoming punches and closed the distance. Murja attempted to respond with counters, throwing quick jabs and the occasional overhand shot. But Bazeyan's defensive awareness allowed him to avoid the worst of the damage. As the exchanges grew more frequent, Bazeyan's pressure started to take its toll. He stepped inside with confidence, landing compact combinations before pivoting away to avoid return fire. Murja showed admirable toughness, continuing to engage despite the growing momentum of his opponent. Several exchanges near the ropes highlighted the contrast between the two fighters' styles. Murja relied on quick reactions and stance switches, hoping to confuse Bazeyan long enough to land a decisive counter. Bazeyan, however, maintained steady pressure, focusing on accuracy rather than reckless aggression. The Armenian fighter frequently ended combinations with a body shot, reinforcing his strategy of slowly breaking down Murja's stamina. Each successful sequence drew louder cheers from the audience, who sensed their hometown fighter was gradually taking control. Although Murja remained competitive and landed occasional scoring punches, Bazeyan's consistent activity and clean combinations made a stronger impression. By the end of the round, the pattern of the fight was clear. Murja was surviving and responding bravely, but Bazeyan was dictating the action and steadily increasing the pressure. The fourth round proved to be the turning point of the entire contest. Bazeyan came forward with renewed aggression, immediately trapping Murja near the ropes. A powerful left hook slammed into Murja's body, forcing him to bend slightly as the impact drained his breath. The reaction did not go unnoticed. Bazeyan instantly recognized the opportunity and launched a flurry of punches. Left hooks, straight rights, and uppercuts began crashing through Murja's guard as the Armenian fighter intensified his attack. Murja fought desperately to defend himself, clinching whenever possible and trying to create space. But Bazeyan continued pressing forward with relentless determination. The Armenian's body attack became particularly devastating during this round. Every time Murja attempted to reset, Bazeyan drove another hook into his midsection before finishing the combination upstairs. The crowd inside the arena erupted with excitement as the action unfolded. For a moment, it seemed Murja might be overwhelmed entirely. Yet the Albanian fighter demonstrated remarkable resilience, absorbing the punishment and refusing to collapse under the pressure. Even while hurt, he managed to fire back occasional counters, reminding Bazeyan that the fight was not completely finished. Nevertheless, the round clearly belonged to the Armenian fighter. His relentless offense and precise shot selection left a lasting impression on both the judges and the audience. When the bell finally rang, Murja returned to his corner breathing heavily, while Bazeyan looked energized by the support of the crowd. The final rounds showcased both the dominance of Bazeyan and the incredible toughness of Murja. In the fifth round, Bazeyan continued attacking the body, landing several punishing shots that forced Murja to exhale loudly with each impact. Despite the pain, Murja refused to retreat entirely, pushing forward whenever possible and attempting to land counters that might change the course of the fight. Bazeyan, however, controlled the pace with discipline, mixing